Hey everybody, it's Alicia McPeak here. I'm so glad you're here with me. So today I want to talk to you guys about how the gut influences every disease process there is, especially depression. Well, especially depression because it's part of my story. So we're going to talk about the microbiome and depression today. So if that's something you want to hear about, stick around. Microbiome thing anyway. We didn't really know a lot about it. We didn't talk about it until very recently. Once the Human Genome Project was completed, we discovered not only that we have more DNA from our microbiome, which is on our skin and inside of our bodies. We're going to talk about the microbiome in the gut today mostly, but we have more DNA from our bacteria than we actually do of our own, about 10 times as much. But you know what? That's not all there is to it. It's also the fact that it actually influences our health, and we know it does. There's research study after research study. Your microbiome, your gut microbiome, affects every disease process there is. So let's talk about what it is to start with. So microbes have been around. They're microbes, right? Little tiny bugs. They've been around since the beginning of time. They're diverse. There's zillions of them, very numerous, and they're ubiquitous. So they live in and on us, like I mentioned. And how do we get our microbiome? Well, first of all, we get it passed down from our mother, and then we especially get it during the birth process. We're supposed to go through the birth canal, and when we go through the birth canal, what happens is we get the proper bacteria from our mother through the birth canal. But if we're born via C-section, we get the microbiome from what's around us, the skin of our mothers, the doctors, like different things that we're being exposed to as we're being born through C-section. And then it continues to develop for the next 3 years, basically. Now, what we know is that in America, in the US, we have a less diverse microbiota than other countries. And the microbiome that we have tends to be the microbiome that is best for processing simple sugars, where in other countries, the microbiome that they have is better for processing fruits and vegetables. And let's be real, that's what our microbiome prefers to eat. Now, everybody's microbiome is like a fingerprint. It's completely unique to you, and it's influenced by lifestyle. It's influenced by stress. It's influenced by drugs, antibiotics, birth control pills, any antidepressants, any drugs, over-the-counter drugs. It's influenced by the foods we eat. I mean, there's so many things that influence our microbiome. And what happens, so let me just kind of try to explain this to you. Not only does our lifestyle and things affect our microbiome, but our microbiome actually affects many things about us. So let me give you an example. They've done studies where they have what they call a clean mouse, or germ-free mouse. It doesn't have a microbiome. And then they'll take an obese mouse, and they'll take the microbiome, the gut microbiome from that an overweight mouse, and they will implant it in the germ-free mouse. And they'll continue to feed them exactly the same thing. And what'll happen is the germ-free mouse will start gaining weight, even though he's eating the exact same diet that he was eating before. Just his microbiome influences whether or not he's going to gain weight or not. And there's many processes involved in that. I'm not going to get into them all, but we know that it affects obesity, or can have a propensity towards creating depression, anxiety, autism spectrum disorder, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, cancer, and more. And how do you know if your gut microbiome is not doing so well? Well, any of those things are a sure sign, but I'm just going to give you about 10 other signs. Stomach distress, sugar cravings, bad breath, food allergies or sensitivities, moodiness, depression, and anxiety, skin issues, diabetes, fatigue, weight issues, and autoimmune issues are all good indicators that your microbiome is out of whack. So what happens when your microbiome is out of whack is your gut wall becomes permeable, and it allows food to not get packaged and absorbed properly and move through your system, but actually go straight into your bloodstream and be absorbed straight into your bloodstream, which causes a whole nother host of issues, which I can talk about at another time. But this is where a lot of autoimmune things start happening, but many other things. Now we have this thing called a vagus nerve where our brain and our gut speak to each other. Your brain speaks to your gut and your gut speaks to your brain. Now when it comes to depression, we know that about 90% of serotonin is created in our gut. If we don't have a healthy gut with healthy microbes, then we don't have the ability to create the serotonin, and it's about 70% for dopamine, that we're supposed to create. Therefore, it's influencing our depression and our anxiety as well as all these other things. But for this conversation, I really want to focus on the depression and anxiety side of things. So let me see if there's anything else I want to tell you guys about this today. No, I think I've really covered it. I hope this clears up a little bit more about what the microbiome is about. I hope that you're starting to understand how very important it is to have a healthy microbiome. There is a process for making this happen, which I'm going to continue to go through as we move through this series of videos. But today I just wanted to explain to you the importance of having a healthy microbiome. We want our healthy microbiome to proliferate. We want to have more of it than we do the ones that eat the sugars and the processed foods and the things that are going to contribute to a disease process. We want to heal up that gut, close that permeability, and be able to absorb our nutrients properly, package and absorb them properly so that our body can get everything it needs to create the feel-good hormones that we need to combat depression and anxiety. So that's the beginning of it, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around. If you're here on my YouTube channel, which I hope you are, please hit the little subscribe button and the notification bell. And if you like this information, give me a thumbs up. It's a way for me to know that this is information that you want to continue to hear about. Thank you, guys. So also drop down below if you have been struggling with any of the things I mentioned. Drop something down below to let me know, like a thumbs up. Let me know. All right, guys, see you again soon. Thank you so much.